Morning, Mayor. Hey, we're running for, interview for, okay, hold on a second. This mic, that's yours? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. One, two, three.
You're all right?
No, we're missing one.
We're live. I think we need one more screen, Chris.
He's there, here.
You don't need Annie.
It was running a little slow.
Annie's not gonna be here tonight.
She's not gonna be here, so.
Movies all.
Oh, what happened? I think we just got shipped over. Yeah, it's you, Jim. Paul, that's you.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
Good.
All right, Chris, you ready?
Well,
Let's go.
All right, good evening all. Welcome to the agenda meeting, Town of Lake Luzerne, September 25th, 2023. Please rise and salute the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilman Hanlon,
Here.
Councilman Lewandowski,
Here.
Councilman Niles,
Here.
Supervisor Molina.
Here, roll call is done. Before we start the meeting, I just want to let people that don't know Freddie Zubel passed away. Somebody that supported the town all his life, actually built this building. When we did this, so just want everybody to know that. The second thing, I'm gonna call an executive session right now so that the audience don't have to wait another 15, 20 minutes, half hour after the meeting. For two people we have to interview for the ZBA board. So. That all right there, attorney? Wait a second. All right, I'll need a motion
Make a motion.
in a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so I apologize. Yeah, you have to shut that off. I apologize, probably 20 minutes, 10 minutes each. We have people here for some quick interview for the zoning board. So you'd have to wait out in the hall. Right?
There's chairs if you go out this.
Reschedule.
All right, thank you all for waiting. I apologize for that, and we'll move on to the Lori, you want to go ahead with resolutions?
We don't have resolutions.
No,
We have a couple, but
yeah,
we need to do a resolution to reschedule the regular meeting from October 9th to October 10th due to the Columbus Day holiday.
Make a motion.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Come on, do it program. We can.
Okay, so we got that. Do you want to skip around or you want to go right down through?
What do we
Right on go.
what do we want to do?
So the tentative budget was filed in our office today, and I'm gonna present that to you. At this time. It's some of the discussion tonight.
Thank you.
Then,
We've got to have what, by the 12th or 15th?
Yeah, I got it right here.
When is it?
All right, we gotta have a meeting, and I'd like to propose it for next Monday at 4 o'clock or thereafter.
a workshop.
Workshop on just the budget. And I also included maybe the healthcare too, because we really never got down to the nitty-gritty on that. So in the budget, the healthcare proposal is proposal 1, keeping it the same as last year. That's only from getting the budget and the numbers. We can change that at the workshop. All right,
What's the date on Monday?
Monday meeting is October 2nd, 4 p.m.
What's the date?
October 2nd, 4 p.m.
I can make that.
Now, from,
I don't know.
Tim, can you make it? And if
Yes, I can
Annie,
make
if Annie can
I'm
make
not
it. too.
positive at this time.
Okay,
I gotta go back into therapy.
At 4 p.m. you said.
well, just let us know and we can.
Yeah.
If it could be earlier or later. But we can't wait too much longer. That has to be done. So that,
Well, let me say something, okay? I spent a couple of hours with Colleen the other day.
Yeah.
It's time well. She told me what all these things really mean. You know, these names on these descriptions, half of them to me didn't mean anything until she described it. Those are names made up by the state, so it's not her fault. But, you know, if you can do it, spend some time. I mean,
Is that it there?
yeah, I mean, one page.
Wow,
What my question was,
I'm gonna go home and read it.
yeah,
yeah, but the point is, this whole week you got. Come in and see Colleen, ask any questions you want. Jim went over it, I've gone over it, it's pretty close. Right now, so you know, we didn't get anything back from the EMS squad yet. So in this budget is in this budget is just probably the same as last year, but we'll change that next week. He's supposed to have it Wednesday to us. Fire department did turn it in, actually Friday. And, that went up about 10,000 last year, but we'll explain all of that. That's why I don't wanna even open the packet now and start. talking
I
about
agree,
it.
but
All
I'm
right.
really advocating talk to Colleen, but on this page, I questioned the whole page. She explained to me. But it's just highway expenditures. But like you got three sets of
Yeah.
what they get paid for. I never would have known that.
Well, it's a whole list in there of what everybody makes, so it's all fully, just take it home, and read it, you got a week from today.
Are those salary breakdowns in here?
I
Yeah.
believe so.
Okay. Yeah,
She
All
put
right.
them- We need a resolution to set that budget workshop meeting.
Make a motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
all right, you wanna do the next one?
Proposed resolution to request a speed study on Highland Drive for the school zone and to submit, excuse me, submit documents to Warren County DPW. We have to follow the same process that we do with every other speed study. The only thing different with this is we have to indicate that it is a school zone.
So
And right now Cindy knows what the letter has to say.
Yeah, we have the
I gave her all the information.
so let's go ahead and do that up for the next meeting.
And Kevin Hayjo's needs the resolution before he can make any move on it. He's DPW for the county.
So are you?
We can make the resolution now, or do you wanna wait 2 weeks? That's up to you.
That's, yeah, let's make it now. Let's do it
Okay.
now,
Get it over with.
All right,
because we can get that ball moving on that. At least look at the,
Right, it's gonna take 3 months before the study's done.
They
School's
asked
almost over with.
because It's 40 miles an hour all the way to.
the infiltrate, right?
Okay, we heard differently, okay. So Mary has some other information on that. You want-
I mean, the vehicle and traffic law says that the town can just submit a request to the Department of Transportation to reduce the school speed to whatever you want it to be. I don't- It doesn't say anything about needing a traffic study or anything like that.
Really? Because a couple of years ago, they changed the speed limit down there, and I don't know who changed it. Or they just threw signs up there, and boy, I'll tell you.
but Kevin Hayjo's told me that this is the way you gotta send it to him, mail it to them. They might say, we don't need the speed study, it's a school zone. We'll drop it to that. It's the way he explained it to me, but this
So we have
is,
to go-
this is going protocol. Make sure we get it done and get moving on it.
So who wants to make the motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Not that I'm baiting you, but.
No, I just don't know why you need a speed study for a school. zone.
Oh, thanks for pointing that out. We'll keep our eyes open.
Not really
Yeah,
Yeah, we may not.
kind of a no brainer.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know, but they came 2 weeks ago in here and They said they asked last year and I really couldn't find any information that we had it.
Where are we gonna put this? I guess, the big question is, where are you gonna run the speed zone from? 9N down to the ball field? That covers that.
That covers most of the street, yeah.
I'd say so.
I'd say so.
You gotta cover the ball field.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But that's up to them. That's why they come and do that study. That's what I was told.
So 9N
9N down to the ball field, the rec field is what I'm suggesting.
Or the Squire, isn't that Squire on the right-hand side?
Yeah.
With the square.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do it, yeah.
All right, so that's what we'll recommend and,
to Squire
Yeah.
Circle.
Yeah.
Okay,
all
That's
right.
back.
okay.
So is it got a motion and a second? Did we
Yep.
say aye? Okay. Now you got a discussion on here for replacing the copier.
You guys have all that information. Colleen gave it to you couple months ago.
I talked to Colleen and I can't remember the exact figures. Our present copier has no value. If we buy another one after a period of 2 years, that's got no value. They will not take it in on a trade-in or anything of that sort. If we lease one, you're looking at, they're taking care of the service on it and everything else. But the only difference is the cost of the machine or the rental. And like I said, I can't remember the figure. If I'm not mistaken, 8,000 versus 5,000. If we buy for 5 and we rent for 8.
I'm not sure. I had a conversation with her too. Do you know, Lori?
I don't.
I think the leasing is cheaper.
I don't know the specific.
Look at, I guess repairs, when it goes down, how are you gonna, they come and repair it.
Yeah.
It's,
It's 100%.
But your cost on copies and everything else are the killer. Because I asked Colleen, and you'd be surprised
Do you want Karen to get her on the phone?
how many copies they make.
It's a major amount.
When she and I were talking, we took that into account, but I don't remember the numbers.
I talked to her shortly after the thing that was 2 months ago.
Probably a month ago.
All right, how about we waited this long? How about we wait 2 more
Will you
weeks?
sit on the copier for a little longer?
We'll,
Yeah.
we'll wait, we'll
Not up to me.
get those
Wow.
answers these gentlemen want
If you're
and
having a budget meeting,
We
maybe
can
you
have
Right.
can
her,
talk to her about the copier that night.
that's
we
what I'm
can
saying.
have
We'll
her
have it
come
next
to
week,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
put the if we need a resolution, let's put it together for the next meeting.
okay.
By then we can get those
I'll have
numbers.
Colleen attend the workshop meeting.
Yeah, or
Well, she's gonna be there for the budget. anyway.
send us,
Yeah, that's
ask her if
true.
she can send us an email with those numbers. Once she explained everything to me, it was a no-brainer, but I can't remember which thing.
Okay,
All right, then we'll just do that, put it off until next week, 1 more week.
okay.
All right, now we've been having a discussion on the USDA loan for months now. I have the 12-page application here from them. And we did change it. We're looking for, this is for 105,000. It's a 15,
1.2.
it's 3.62.
1 point. You said
105.
105,000.
105,000.
That's $1.5 million.
I mean, I'm sorry, 1,105,000. I'm sorry, it is
1,105,000.
5,000. That's what we discussed.
1,000,000.
100. I thought we talked about.
1.2.
200,000.
it was like 1.2.
Yeah, 1.2 million.
No,
We got it back.
I guess so. I just looked at it. Yeah.
We always
No,
make
here,
it
no,
one-
here, it's right at the beginning, 1.2 million loan, 3.625, 15 years, oh, it's 105,000 a year. That's what it is, I'm
That's the
sorry,
payment.
payment. That's the
Oh,
payment.
Oh,
and you increased it to 15 years.
It's would always been 15 or 10 or 15. 10 would be 145,000 a year. And that's a lot on the budget,
What did you figure in the tentative budget? 105?
105. 100, up to 1.2,
No, for repayment.
yeah, 105.
Out of highway fund.
I don't know.
Okay, what do we need to do next?
Well, all I want is that, are we still moving and I'll get this, I don't want to go through this 22-page application and we decide not to do it.
I thought last time we,
Yeah, I
Well,
thought
just
we,
want, I just,
Like I said,
I thought we
I
said,
checked
okay.
with 3 banks,
I thought we said.
okay? None of them would do anything after $1 million. Okay, I checked with Warren County Economic Development Corporation. He has not, I had one conversation with him a week ago. Thursday or Friday, and he has not gotten back to me. He said he'd get back to me on possible. They've never done one for a town for paving reasons. He says there are grants available also. And he promised to get back to me with possibly them doing it or coming up with suggestions for us. So that's where I stand. I tried.
Tim, how do you feel?
Well, we discussed it last time,
Right,
we're
right.
settled on it. I mean, I thought we were.
yeah, I thought we said
Yeah.
we're going ahead.
I called Gene a week ago. And I says that if he had checked with Warren County Economic Development Corporation. Okay, which you know a little bit about Saratoga, same situation. And I was hoping to come back and see what they could do for us.
Are you advocating put the brakes on or are we still going ahead?
Huh. What more can I say? You know, it sounds like we got into this where we should have done maybe a little more research ahead of time. And now I'm trying to play catch up. I'm not trying to down what Gene has done by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, in regards to the USDA loan, but that's up to the clientele here. You know, Ron's working on a situation that, how long, after that's filed, how long before we get our money, do you know?
Well, gotta file it first.
Well, you also gotta go out for town referendum, correct?
Permissive referendum.
Permissive referendum.
Do you know what that means?
Yeah, here we go again. That's
Well, no,
30 days.
Well, he's not telling me about that because it's not a bond, it's a loan. Look, you're saying we need a permissive referendum, but it's gotta be passed first before the permissive referendum
Just means you need to wait 30 days.
days, right?
See if you get a petition. But I'm assuming you're not gonna get the money. in 30
No,
days.
no, this is gonna, the longer we take now it's almost into the end of November, early December. Doesn't happen.
So it's not gonna happen this year for Ron. That's what I'm saying.
correct me if I'm wrong, the layman's description of permissive referendum, we have to give the public 30 days to tell us they want to vote. We don't have to put it out for a vote.
Right.
All right.
The public has 30 days to respond upon notice.
And they have to get a certain number of signatures on a petition saying, we want to put this to a vote.
Correct.
I haven't heard anything that makes me change my mind. Whatever, that's what, I think we should go ahead.
The roads are not gonna get any better, gentlemen.
Well, we know that.
It's a pretty cheap rate for the money. By today's standards.
I mean, I'd prefer to see a 10-year because it gets paid off quicker, less interest, but it's not in the budget, then
That'll be 145,000. That's the, 40,000 more in the budget. And I'll explain that to you if you want to wait till next week about how that budget's laid out right now.
Yeah, I'd like to wait until we have our meeting on the budget. Personally,
All right, move on.
one more week.
All right, anybody want to speak on the discussion on Pine Hill Colony? The letter we got.
The letter that, yeah, I will. The letter that we received. Okay. We cannot. Sell that property to an individual. That property, if we decide to put it out for sale, it has to go out for. To the public. This is why 2 years ago. We came up with a situation for Pine Hill to do a 99-year lease. The 99-year lease did not have to do it that way. And it's an unbuildable lot by Karen's assessment 2 years ago, unless something has changed. Okay. And the only way I see that we can do anything is it would have to go out, for actual bid. We can't sell it to an individual.
May I ask something here?
Mhm.
I got a call from a gentleman this week who actually was in my office asking me. And it ties into this, not the same property, but he thinks that there is a law. That a municipality can sell town-owned property to an adjoining property owner. At full market value without going through the auction or sale process. Of offering it to the general public if that land cannot be built upon. Have you heard of that at all, Mary? Is there such a law for that?
The correct process for leasing or selling land is just having it appraised, selling it for fair market value, and then the sale is subject to a permissive referendum. There's no requirement for an auction. There's no requirement to offer it to the public. The town just has to get fair market value, and it's subject to the 30-day waiting period. So,
But we
no.
cannot sell it to an individual.
Yes, you can.
You can sell it to an individual.
Yeah, as long as it's for fair market value. You have to have it appraised first, though, to make sure you're getting fair market value.
Now, if we were to go along with the suggestion to the Theobalds, what, I guess, what, he'll protect, I mean, is there anything we can put in there? I mean, for as far as everybody else's interest in there, so joining landowners, as far as, okay, he wants to give it back to the homeowners association there.
Okay.
He wants to get it and then give it back to them. What? Is there anything, what protection, what, I guess, what would solidify that legally that he'd have to do it, not just buy it and hold on to it and then just develop the whole thing and make everybody work around him?
So you can put deed restrictions on it.
Okay,
So you would put those restrictions right in the deed.
Okay.
They run with the land. The one thing I do want to mention is I looked at the parcel that you're talking about, and the parcel next to it would become landlocked if anyone other than the Theobalds owned it.
That's what I was, you're right, because, and it also has. That's the right of way in, and it also has our water line.
yeah, town water line in it.
Yeah, you would have to make sure that
All
you
those properties, so.
left easements in
Yes,
for
there's
the
gotta be a
water
lot of
line that goes
stipulations
through
on it.
there.
Yeah, so if we sell this to him, I want, other people's interest in that homeowner association, although it's a homeowner association, they're taxpayers, so I would like to see their interest protected as far as something in there that says he has to hand it over, not just buy it and then go renege on his agreement. That he will and has to, and if he doesn't, I mean, I'd like to see that happen
All of this
in the
is-
deed restrictions on there.
I'm assuming you're talking about lot 19 and 27 would become landlocked. I'm not sure what you're looking at.
Right here.
So this is the property that you're talking about.
Yep,
See this property here,
that's the road there, right?
but it belongs to this parcel.
That's right.
This becomes landlocked if,
That too,
this is a road, I think,
it is,
There's a loop that goes around.
yeah.
but it's still considered
It's
part of.
part of that property.
Yes, that's what I'm, yeah, that's what
No,
I'm.
wait a minute.
This one would be.
This happens to be the person
What about
that wants to
these?
buy the property.
That may be true, but if they then give it to the HOA.
Well, I'm just
It's no
saying,
longer
that is the property. But also at the same time, if it is sold to them, the reason why this whole transaction happened is there's a water main in there,
Mhm.
okay? The water main goes up to where about, Ron? Up to where it says 65?
I don't.
Oh, you don't have a copy? This was the reason why that,
I'm not sure on that. That's all private. The water lines.
right now it belongs to us.
That's why we have the,
That's
that's why we own the
we-
land.
That's why we obtained this land, was to bring the water line in on it back.
The
in the
original thing
70s.
was,
Yeah, good.
going back umpteen years ago, the water line had to be put in, the main. We don't do it on private property. The property was turned over to the town. Okay, the water main was put in, and the town was supposed to, at that time, turn it back over to the resident. That never happened. Okay? That's why we still own that parcel of land.
Who built that gazebo?
That goes back to over 100 years.
Okay, so that was there when. The scenario you just. described.
Oh, very much so. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, the gentleman that broke the property off, okay, and it's probably not him anymore, is where Kyle Moore lives now.
So lot 20.
I don't have the-
23 was one lot,
Huh?
21 and 23 used to be one lot.
Yeah.
Another issue is in the letter. I believe he wants to change the boundaries of the land. He wants to redraw the property lines of the land in the letter. He's wishing to do that also. Which,
Well, a boundary line adjustment has to go through the planning board.
yeah,
It's not something that would be dealt with here.
oh, absolutely, absolutely.
My feeling is if we can sell it directly to a sole individual, one, I want stuff put in the new deed that he's got 30 days to turn it over. Second, the property size does not change. That's my feeling.
Yep.
This is going to take the burden of the gazebo and that part of the property and turn it back over to Pine Hill Colony. It relieves us of the property. At the same time, my suggestion is to sell it to, I believe it's,
Doable.
yeah, whatever, David and Sharon. Okay, with the other things I mentioned, that this property doesn't change in size. And it goes back to Pine Hill Colony. 100%.
What is wrong with readjusting the lot lines? Doesn't even tell us what he wants to do, so how do you know it's bad?
Well, this is, if we're gonna turn this over to an association,
We're not.
Well,
He is.
if he is, I mean, we're gonna sell it to him, he's gonna turn over this indirectly, indirectly we're turning over the association, but he's gonna buy it and then do it that way. We're just, I know it has to go through the zoning board. But perhaps that verbiage in there of him not being able to change, but it has to go through the zoning board. So it has regulations on it.
It's a planning board,
The-
right there.
The planning board.
And I
Yeah,
got
planning
one
board.
more question. We spent almost a year on it,
I spent,
giving it to them for
oh,
99
very much
years.
so.
The people that were here are all in favor of it for the most part. And then 2 weeks later, we get a letter. They don't want it.
Yep,
Now, I don't know why. They never.
we
said-
never got an
So
answer.
is there some people inside that development don't like that deal?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm afraid to sell it to somebody else without us knowing. what is
Then the
going
best
on.
thing that we can do without making a decision here tonight is to ask Pine Hill Colony, the president and anybody that is in that association and have a meeting with them.
How big is that association?
The lady there can probably answer the question.
15,000. Do you know why they turned it down the first time? Did we offer the 99-year lease still? Can you help us with a little on that?
Yeah, yeah. Come up, Beth, if you want, yeah, if you want to sit up there. Okay.
So I don't know who was here and how many were here, but there's 15 people that vote on it. So the people that were here that you said agreed to it, when they brought it back for everybody to realize what the situation was and what it was gonna entail, we voted it down because we said in 99 years, part of the lease said it had to be returned in the exact condition that it was when it was leased to us. And we said, well, 99 years, none of us are gonna be here, and we don't know what's gonna happen, or let's say a hurricane hit it or something, tree fell on it, then we're responsible for putting it back up.
I wish-
The cost to put it back up again, because the lease said it has to be returned in the same shape that it was when the original lease agreement.
I surely wish they'd come back and talk to us about that. Cause that probably could have been.
What do you
something
think, Mary?
where
Give us a little help here.
She wasn't involved at the time.
I don't have an opinion. The first step would be to get it appraised. If you even think you're gonna go through with it, there's no sense in talking about it until you get it appraised.
True.
The letter says that they intend to restore the gazebo.
Right.
That's kind of.
2 years ago.
With them not wanting a 99-year lease because they're afraid they might have to fix the gazebo.
This is how it came about originally 2 years ago. There's an approximation of a $10,000 repair that needs to be done on that gazebo.
Yeah, I was,
Somebody asked the question at one of their meetings and said, geez, I don't think we own the gazebo. Am I correct?
Correct.
And this is how everything got started and came back to us. Wendy? Is there?
No, Suzanne, Sue Robbins,
Who?
Sue Robbins.
Okay. She goes to Florida in the wintertime?
She Hilton Head.
Huh?
Hilton Head for 3 months, January through March.
Okay. That's probably the lady I was talking.
Yes, it was.
Okay, thank you. And, we submitted the paperwork. And sounded everything was a go, and then it came back, but they gave no reason. That probably could have been adjusted in regards to a gazebo that's over 100 years old.
Correct,
An act of God,
correct.
okay? If an act of God happened, you can't do nothing about that. Okay, if a tree fell onto it, well, if you got insurance on it, that could possibly take care of it. Because we were asking for liability as well as, whatchamacallit insurance.
Was that any of the reason? Was it the insurance aspect of it, of the liability? Was that ever mentioned as an issue? Did you recall?
No,
Okay.
not that I recall.
does the town care what happens to that gazebo?
The whole thing is,
I don't care what happened in the past. I'm just trying to figure out if we want to sell it to them.
you wanna know something? The townspeople don't even know.
Correct.
Okay,
We own.
that we own it.
I don't think the town really cares about the gazebos. Out of sight, out of mind. It's in the homeowners association. It's more important to them than the town. Lived here my whole life and I had no
If
idea.
you,
they
if
owned
you, if you go up there and you look at it, as far as the gazebo is concerned, it's a wonderful building. It's a wonderful structure. But practicality wise, the road is very short. If you wanted to use it for anything, there's very little parking. It would be a great place to go. And when I looked at it, I thought, oh, this would be great to take prom pictures in, wedding pictures, but there's no parking. There's
Yeah.
no,
There isn't. I've been up there. Yeah,
yes.
it's
And
very
it's in
one.
tough shape.
and it's in fairly, it's a great structure, but it needs repair. And at today's cost, it's going to cost some money to bring it
Oh,
back to life. And I think it's worth more to keep it than to get rid of it at this point, but no one even really knew that we owned this land until this issue came up. So
Can anybody here stab at the cost to get the appraisal done?
you're probably talking $500. They're pretty close.
I think so.
Thank you.
I would
It's not
suggest
just
we,
400,
we
but-
just get the appraisal done like Mary said. And just get it done.
You want to call a meeting with the association, decide?
If
If that could be all justified by going back to the original contract,
I would do the appraisal first.
taking that one phrase out of there and act and put in the act of God. With a 99-year lease. And then nobody's buying nothing.
Hmm.
They pay for the insurance on the property.
Why not sell? Put it back on the tax list.
Can do that too.
How does that affect if you need like water break, clean break, and we're responsible?
Well, the deed would have to have. All that stuff worked out, you know.
Ron, what's your
What's
opinion?
the right term, right away or something for the
Easement.
water line?
Hey, we
Easement.
still have to take.
Ronnie, what's your opinion on the water? If it, in the future, if anything has happened? Any breakage,
Can't really
what,
say. Ever since I've been here, we've never done anything in there. I know where it goes in, I don't know where it goes after that.
I would think that if we sold it,
We wouldn't
the
have.
town would have no responsibility.
Yeah.
Past the street shut off.
I don't have a problem selling it either, as long as it's handled correctly.
Yeah.
So all parties' interests are met and so it's one person doesn't dominate. Or renege on the deal and keep it and say, well, I changed my mind. After the sale happens, when we're out of the picture and they just say, well, I don't want to do that. Actually, I want the whole thing. We're part of it. I don't know. That's just my concern.
Let's get it appraised. Make a motion.
Second,
We can argue this all night
Should
long.
we, I'm sorry,
Yes,
since
Mary?
this is the agenda meeting, should we put the motion on for the next?
Yeah, let's,
Yeah.
Put it on
let's
for the
do
next
that.
yeah.
Let's,
Oh,
thank you,
yeah,
Mary.
let's-
Thank you for keeping the reins on us a little bit.
good idea. Let it.
Thank
let
you.
it percolate a couple weeks.
Getting carried away with emotion.
Gazebo.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude. Are you Susan?
No,
Okay.
Could we have your name?
sure, Beth Hamel,
Okay.
What's your rank?
resident.
Oh,
You're not-
Listen.
Concern
Mary,
person.
Yes.
back to my
you're
question
not
when
an
we
officer of the
started.
Association
I'm on board.
on the board.
I just want to go back to my question for where I started this, because it pertained to what you were saying. If someone else in town is interested in buying a piece of property that the town owns that is next to that adjoins their property, what is the process that they should do? Like in this case, send a letter of interest to the board and take it from there?
Yes, so the board again would have to get it appraised and then they would have to pay the full market value on it. And then whatever resolution the board passes, subject to that 30 days, that someone could file a petition to challenge or put it up for a vote.
Okay, I'm gonna get back to this person on this. Thank you.
We're moving on.
Yep. So the next thing is the discussion for resolutions for the October 10th meeting. I have resolution to pay the bills, resolution to accept minutes, now resolution to get the appraisal. And
Top here.
well, that's discussion, not so much a resolution. Or do you want it to be a proposed possible resolution?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, well, you know, if we gotta tweak it that
Yeah.
night, we can tweak it.
So possible proposed resolution. To move forward, I'll say. With copier.
They all audited bills.
Yeah,
Do you
I have
want a
that one.
proposed resolution for the loan? That way it's on there and you guys can vote on it,
Yeah.
make
I
a final
know.
decision.
Thank him
Say
again.
no, but
Think-
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yes,
that's a good idea. 'Cause we're gonna be.
yes,
yeah.
yes, absolutely.
What
Okay.
else?
Thank you.
She's getting better, you notice that?
Yeah,
Happy birthday.
we're teaching her well.
So that's all I have. I don't know about if you have other
I have,
resolutions
I
you
have
wanna
a few
have.
other things here.
That's fine.
What do you
Every,
got there?
every year we do an ad in the, Warren County Tourism booklet.
Yeah, we gotta change something on the school, right?
This is the booklet that goes out. This is the ad that's been in there. What we did, we changed
But the same ad, it goes in the school.
in the school, folk school, it's two places. It's in the works. It should be done tomorrow. This is some of the changes that we made, things that are not in here anymore or past. So
Stale.
this is, no, but I need a resolution. This ad costs $2,500 to put in there. It comes out of occupancy tax money, it has nothing to do with our budget. So, and it's in the, I went there, spent some time today. It's in the works. We're a little late. It should have been here there Friday, but they're gonna,
Did you change what needed to be changed in that?
nobody ever told me what had to be changed. They just handed me to do it. So.
I know,
I haven't
someone
got it.
raised the question.
Hmm?
At the last meeting, something had to be changed. Places have moved. or
Well, there's a lot of things like, we're taking away the date. Because if you take away the date and like the pug thing, it's the fourth. Sunday in the month of September. That's an easy way to say it, not the date like it's in here.
That's
So that-
true, yeah.
And
that's
plus,
good.
we were, the problem was next year's a leap year, so the dates are changed by 2 days. So we had to go through every one
So
of these.
so you are fixing it.
I did it already.
That's
Good, run with it. It's good if it's, yeah,
That's what he asked.
yeah, we're good.
Did
What's
you
that?
fix it?
you did.
I did fix it. I got it right here.
Okay.
This is what the changes are.
All right. We'll do a let's have a resolution
So
to
we
have
go
it.
around again?
Let's have a resolution made for that.
Want to Do that tonight.
I just
No,
need a
that-
resolution for the check. I don't need a resolution that approves of.
Is it timing?
Can that be
Time
done at
sensitive?
the
Yeah.
meeting?
I already talked.
We already
Supposed to
talked
be
about
in
it last
Friday.
week.
Yes.
Okay, so you're gonna do it now or?
I'd like them to do it now. We keep putting off things another
I
couple of
think-
weeks.
Tim made a resolution, didn't you? Just now?
You make a motion?
Yes, I made a motion.
I'll second it.
We've been beating the pants off this
All
thing.
together, or, yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
Yeah,
All right.
all in favor.
I do have one, all together.
Oh.
I do have one other thing, under resolutions. At the October 10th meeting, we'll need a resolution to move the tentative budget to preliminary and set the public
On
hearing
the backside. Yes,
for
right.
October 30th at 7 PM, which would be the agenda meeting. And that would keep us on schedule with the budget schedule process.
Write it up.
It's right there.
I'm not talking to you.
So I can put that on there.
Yeah.
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 See?
Thank you.
You marry him?
No.
I'm talking to you.
Anything else?
I have
Okay, I
nothing
got
else.
one more thing, the ethics board. Andy McMahon's coming off. And Michael, I don't know how to pronounce it, Coryea.
Michael Koya.
Koya has volunteered to,
Mike
on
is
the-
the gentleman throughout the course of the, all the stuff up at the, extravaganza. I think I introduced him to you. Gene. His wife, worked.
I've known both of them for a few years from the folk school.
Okay, you have.
Yes,
Okay.
Is that the name that Patricia gives?
yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So I know him, some of the other people know him, so we have a person, then it'll be him, Tim Hanlon and Patricia Goldberg, because Tim wrote an email, he thought he was on it. We put him on it a year ago, more than a year ago.
I didn't even remember it. We talked about it. I'm going, wait a minute.
I make a motion, we put Mike on.
I second it.
Are we doing that now or?
No, we can, well, we're getting that. Here we go, Mary. Mary, you're supposed to get the whip out. Okay, we can do it the next, we
We
can,
could do it at the next meeting.
Resolutions for
well,
the 10th.
yes,
Okay,
Yes,
Good. Tomorrow.
getting carried away. Aren't we? And Mary's chewing on her pen.
Mhm.
What else you got there, Gene?
I have nothing else.
Ronald?
I don't really have anything. We're putting blacktop down on Thomas Road tomorrow. And the next day, we're doing a water tap at Cycle A. And the next day, we're going up on Circular to do a driveway up there.
That's Friday. You don't work on Friday.
I got something like that.
That's the last week of the 10th.
We're not supposed to have meetings, right? But
So I know, but I want to get this off my plate. The Corona Lake is applying to use Priscilla Court.
Yeah.
They asked me to come out and talk about our experiences. Anybody have any problem with me doing that?
No,
No,
None whatsoever.
go ahead.
you're our spokesperson.
You've done a hell of a job with it, followed through.
Absolutely.
Anybody else have anything else?
Yes, I have a list.
Go ahead.
You have a
List.
list.
A laundry list. Here we go.
Here it comes.
The first thing that I have is I have a homeowner, property owner, not a homeowner, on East River Drive, the Christmas tree farm. I'm going to read an email that I received from him. He's sorry that he couldn't attend tonight. And he wants me to convey this problem. He has received a grant through New York State Ag and Markets in Warren County Soil and Water for an agricultural building on our property. Once we learned of the zoning, we realized there is not a place on the property where we could locate the building that was useful to the operation without either A, cutting down existing trees that have a cycle time of 12 years to maturity, or having to undergo significant expense in having the arbitrary zoning boundary surveyed to measure from to potentially only learn that we don't want a building located in this spot or will need to destroy trees in the area. We are able to meet all setback requirements if the property was zoned as one type. I should back up before I get into this. This property on East River Drive is a fairly large property. It's the Christmas tree property. The issue is he's been given this grant and the property has two zones in it. It's one of our properties in town that it's mainly in the RT zone, but a little bit of it on the road on the East River Drive side is in the Hamlet residential
That's where the
area.
house is.
There's no house on it.
Where's East River Drive? I can't see that far.
Right to the top of the
East
page.
River Drive is right here.
Okay,
Okay. Now, what happens in zoning when you have a lot that has two zones in it? You treat them as two separate parcels. And so for him to build this building where he wants to put it, which is basically right in here, he's in the HR zone and the line comes right close through that area. So he has to come out 75 feet from that line to place the building, which with the trees and everything that are there, he'd have to cut trees. He's already developed roadways for people to get in and out and around in there. And what he would like to do is petition the town to remove the HR zone out of this parcel so that his setback becomes 20 feet rather than actually
75.
95, because he's got to meet the 20 feet.
20 feet. beside.
Okay, so I've talked to Mary about it, and there's a process to go through to change a zone. And it starts with, you have to have a public hearing posted at least 10 days prior. There's a list of things that have to happen, but so his email to me is he was given this grant. He was supposed to have the building up by December 31st in order to make use of this grant. They have told him that he can delay the project and get the grant renewed only if they know that the building will be able to be built. Otherwise, the state's going to send the funds elsewhere. And the other option is to apply for a variance for this setback. But again, if this remains HR in here, that creates this being his front yard for the RT, which means he has to be 75 feet off of it. If you remove the HR out of this zone, this becomes his front yard. And that portion where he is wants to put the building, he only needs to be 20 feet off that line instead.
Doesn't
So,
that 70 foot also represent in regards to, isn't there something else about lining up with the buildings next door to each other?
no, there's nothing about that. It's all front yard setbacks,
It is.
side
Okay.
yard setbacks.
Okay.
And so he was discussing with me what his options were. And a variance is at least a 2-month process for him. And he's not guaranteed that he'll get the variance. And whereas if he petitioned the town board to remove the HR zone, then we could just start with the public hearing on it and maybe get it done within a month. And at least he would know that if he did that, if that was in the process, that he could get back to them on the grant and let them know that he's, can put the building up.
If he went the variance route, would it be a use variance or an area variance?
It's an area variance. But there's no guarantee that he'll get it.
What's his neighbors think of it? Or how close is his neighbor?
Well, I don't know what the
South.
neighbors think. I would have to send out those, that's part of the process. If you do a public hearing, I have to mail notices to people with 500 feet of the, no?
It would just be the public hearing notice. It would be on them to come to the meeting and. Those 500 feet are just for municipal, it's certain things, but it's not neighbors. I can go over those. with you.
Okay, but you've got in here, notice of public hearing served by mail or personally 10 days prior to the,
If the property is
within
within
500
500 feet of
feet.
a housing authority, the boundary of any city, village or town, the boundary of the county, or the boundary of any state park. or-
Oh, okay. So it would just be the public hearing?
Mhm.
Okay, so no
Yeah,
notice.
Karen, what's that kind of diagonal?
That is a Niagara Mohawk right of way, or I'm not, and
Yeah, there's power lines.
I'm not sure if
Right
it's
across.
a parcel or if it's an easement, but I think it's owned by Niagara Mohawk or that other,
What would the building be used for?
he was going to put chemical mixing and
What's your recommendation, Karen?
I would recommend removing the HR out of that property. We have these properties, when we've discussed this before, throughout the town. We have parcels that have more than one zone in them and it creates an issue. I was told by the previous attorney that we had that the state actually frowns on towns having parcels with more than one zone in them. Have you heard that, Mary?
I haven't, but I'm not saying it's wrong. I
Are
just-
there any more parcels that have the same situation right there?
We have quite a few parcels in town, all over town.
Right next to
It's
him?
one of the issues that we wanted to try and take care of with readjusting the zoning map and the zoning ordinance. If we were to get that grant to
Do
work on that.
do you think this is a plus for us to do this?
Is it consistent with the comp plan?
Well, it does another thing too. This is also the same gentleman that we've had discussions about a sign. Correct?
He has a sign, yes.
And also stock in wood or something.
No,
Bring us back.
no, that was, that's the adjacent property owner.
Okay,
The
thank you.
water.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The comp plan want to eliminate multi-zone parcels.
Yes,
Well,
Got it.
That was discussed.
it's a step in the right direction if we do it for him.
yeah. I mean, there are more in town that we need. to
What
look
about
at.
next to him? Is there anything else next to him like
It's
that?
all-
The same?
There's a house down in this property right here, but that would remain in the HR Hamlet Residential Group. And
You gotta remember,
all of his land is vacant except for this one little small building that he sells the Christmas trees out of.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I mean, I can look at this. This On the southern side of him, it's residential. There are houses in there to the southern side of him.
Yeah, it goes down to Call Street
Yeah.
right there. Yeah, that place has been there for a long
Yeah.
time. Since I was young. Okay, then you get down into here. There's the houses.
What
So
did
they
we
have
do
them all. Coming down to here,
What
too.
Stewart's
Yeah.
was proposing
That's the corner.
to build their new
Yep.
store. Didn't we have some zoning change
Yes,
there?
you did do a zoning change
We did
there.
a small one because they bought some land, but some land people didn't want to sell.
Just a similar scenario.
I wasn't here then,
Bring that there.
but
Back here.
there were two mobile homes there that Stewart's bought the land up and demolished.
That would-
And then incorporated that land into their parcel because they needed the larger lot in order to restore back and make it larger.
Going on here with it.
The
Only right
Right? Do you really see a reason why we can't do it?
The spot zoning philosophy.
It's not spot zoning because it's consistent with your comment.
Here.
I'm all for it. I mean, if it's,
I'm
it helps,
for it.
yeah, helps
I'd
with
like to make a
business.
motion. We want
So
to bring it up? No,
wait
we
a
can't do it.
Mary's shaking her hands again. Oh, no, excuse me.
I want to say,
So-
put it
so
on
what-
the agenda and we'll have a resolution ready for 2 weeks.
So you,
Just write a note that we'll have it on there.
so we'll just
set the
do,
public
we'll
hearing.
set the public hearing at the next meeting?
Yeah.
Okay, but you don't see an issue, well, you don't know until you have the public hearing, correct? As to whether it will be passed or not.
Right, I mean, I don't know what the neighbors are gonna think or if there's gonna be any opposition. It is not spot zoning because it's consistent with the comp plan.
Okay. I'll get back to him tomorrow then.
Does that mean his timeline, not that we're obligated to, but
I don't know. We'll see what
We
happens.
do the best we can.
Yeah.
Next,
Tell me, come to us for help.
What's your
I
next
said,
one?
I have no
My
problem.
next one is, there's a property in town that is coming in front of the planning board Wednesday night that is proposing to a change of use from a single family home to a bed and breakfast with an accessory building on it to be used as a event venue, wedding event venue or event venue building. They're going to modify a barn and the proposal is to modify the barn and turn it into this event venue building. It's an accessory building to the bed and breakfast. They're gonna, and the problem is that we do not have an event venue on our use table. And so, in talking again with the attorney, as a course of action as to what to do, it can be looked at, they could either file for a use variance, which are extremely difficult to get, quite frankly. Or we could add an event venue to our use table. And then correspond, we would have to amend the use table and amend the dimensional table to indicate what zones we would allow it in and the size of the zones that we think that it should be in. And again, they're coming in front of the planning board Wednesday night, and I've already talked to them about what the issue is, and I've got to get back to them. So my course of action on this is I would like to add it to our use table and add it to our dimensional table. And at Wednesday's meeting, if I can get the board to discuss this, I would like to come back at the town board meeting Monday night and present what they would recommend for the zones that it would be allowed in and the size of the property that they feel would be adequate for something of this use. And then we would have to move forward with, it's a local law. You have to have a public hearing, you have to have, it has to be written into the zoning ordinance. So it's another thing that may take a month or 2 months to accomplish. So I just wanted to bring that up. Has anyone got any thoughts on it at all?
My thoughts, it's a business. We need business. I'm for it.
Well, you beat me to it. I think because you need an event place to
Yes,
hold things
I
in
like it.
town. We don't have them anymore with the restaurants all closed down.
Well, they are not proposing a restaurant
No,
in
but,
this business. They are proposing to cater.
no, that's what I mean.
Guido Pasquale's place, the by,
Passarelli's.
yeah,
Oh,
the beautiful nice house right down the back where Graham used to keep the bulls for the rodeo.
They're talking about taking the horse barn down.
Yep.
Yeah,
okay, I didn't realize
Converting
it
it.
was there. My concern is 10,000 feet higher, but that place is appropriate.
It's beautiful. It'd be perfect for it.
My concern is a precedence concern. It's nothing to do with that site.
Well, it really shouldn't have to do with that site. It's putting it into the zoning ordinance because other people may want to have this same type of thing at their property. So you've got to look at it townwide at all of the properties and make sure that
Yeah.
it's appropriate where it goes.
And I think my concern is that should involve some planning and some thinking.
Especially establishing a definition for what an event location is, not just the size, but what it entails, what it offers.
Yeah. Yeah, again, that site, my opinion is it's appropriate,
Hmm.
but doing the whole new town law and stuff, we gotta get somebody to do that knows what they're doing. Even that one. little piece.
Usually it is the planning board and the zoning board that recommend to you the changes that are made to this zoning ordinance, but it is always a public hearing on those changes.
I think we allow those.
But I would like to get it started because these people are coming to the planning board and we need to move.
I'm
on it.
100% for it.
Got no problem with it.
I think you're gonna bring back the recommendation.
I'm gonna
Yes.
bring back
Bring back
recommendations.
your recommendation.
Okay,
Yeah, carry that forward. Yeah, go forward on that. I like it.
Let's hear
Actually.
what the other two committees have to say about it.
Good idea.
the other one we've already talked about, which was the town-owned property
Design
things,
environment.
and then Mary, this is a question for you. I have an issue that I am probably going to have to do an enforcement action on, and I need some guidance. So do I just talk to you about that? It doesn't need to come in front of the board.
It depends on how far we're going in it. I mean, if we're gonna commence litigation, I need a resolution from the board to authorize me to do so, but if we're just at the point where we're sending letters and trying to get. them
Are
to-
you going to go into executive session tonight? Can I talk to you about it there then, rather than in the public? Okay. That's all I have at this point.
All right, anyone else? All right, so we're gonna need an executive session to
There you go.
go with the, who we gotta talk about who we decide to go on zoning.
Yep.
And then on the thing that she wants to talk to you.
So I need an executive session to talk about current litigation.
Right.
And if you are not gonna do any more business after the executive session, you can.
Oh,
close the meeting.
Wait a minute, we still gotta bring up the other thing that isn't completed yet in regards to land usage, the town situation. You were putting it together.
There's a public hearing.
Oh, resolution of public properties.
You scheduled the public hearing for October.
We did.
Yes, that's
I
the
believe
next.
so, right?
Yeah, we did.
Yep.
That's-
Okay.
Yep.
I
yep.
already put the notice
We're
in.
good.
Oh my God.
Public hearing notice.
I got it.
We did it.
Public hearing notice will be published this week, I think, when, might be Wednesday or Thursday.
Okay,
Yeah.
make a motion, we go into executive session
I second it.
where no decisions will be made
And you're not gonna come out and take any more action, correct?
and no action. I'm getting better, right?
Okay.
Right, all in favor, everybody?
Aye.
Right.
Aye.